Kylian Mbappe still hasn't signed his contract at PSG. It turns out he's not going to. In fact, that's what all the rumours are stating. So this is an interesting situation because obviously we know that next year he'd be able to go on a free. But will PSG be happy with that, Jules? Wouldn't they rather, if they know he's going anywhere, try to get some money out of it? With what they spent for him especially.
No, you're right. The thing is, they believe that even if he hasn't signed that extension, let's say at the start of this season coming in August, they still believe that he might sign it in November or in December or even wait for January or February. He can still sign it later, or he can even wait like Messi in the current situation and go out of contract and then extend it back then. It's hard to tell. They are adamant that he would not leave for free. That's what Nasser Al-Khelaifi is saying publicly, privately, that they believe that even if it's a short-term deal, he will extend it because he would not want to live on a free, and PSG would not let that happen. It's easier to say than actually for it to be done, because if you're Kylian, you're thinking, hang on a minute, I can if I'm free, I can go pretty much wherever I want. I can choose even and be very picky on where I want to go. I'll have a huge signing on fee, great commission for my dad and my lawyer, etc., etc. So it will be very interesting, fascinating. He will be there next season. He will start the season with PSG. He will finish it with PSG. I can tell you that. He wants that. The club wants that. But then obviously the big question is, will he sign an extension between now and the end of his current contract, or will he not? They're still positive in the sense that he will sign a short one and then can go a year later, for example, let's say the summer 2023, or even maybe in the summer 2022, but with a bit more left on his contract, so PSG will get some money for him. But it's going to be fascinating to see what happens in the next few weeks.
Kylian Mbappe, a father. I said, we have 1 year left. Your dream is to play for Real Madrid. Always been, and I think is still. Real Madrid has no money whatsoever for a transfer. Why, a year from being a free agent, he will sign a contract for Real Madrid to spend money to get him? Because I think he won't, because it will never happen. The transfer will never happen because Real Madrid has no money for that. So there is no reason whatsoever for Mbappe to not go until the end of his contract to say bye-bye to Paris Saint-Germain.
But his ego's out of control.
Right.
It's not about the football. Yeah. Is it not about the football?
Yeah.
Is it not about winning the Champions League? Is it not about playing in this potentially great team? No. It's about wanting to be the big cheese that everybody talks about. It's about the ego, right? Let's not fudge around it and say, oh, they go to Real Madrid and they'll rebuild. And then it's just about being this top guy there that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
So it's not about the football. It's not about the money. It's just about the egos. And that's what I'm saying. He's a young man, and when he started off in this game, it wasn't about the ego for him. It was just about the talent. And we sat here and we eulogised about it, and we watched him. My God, look at this guy. He's fast, and he's done all this stuff. What do we talk about now? Yeah. The off-field stuff, the not getting on with teammates, they want to be the big cheese. A bit like Neymar leaving Barcelona.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had it all at his feet. Wanted to go to be the big cheese. And here we have one of the next superstars in line. And all he's interested in, it seems, is to be, as Julian said, the poster boy. I remember this game was about being in the best team and winning and enjoying your football and getting paid for it. Now that's not enough for some of these.
Don?
Horrible, isn't it? It's horrible, the picture that the guys are painting. It's right. I mean, Leonardo's clutching if he thinks he's going to get 220 million with a guy that's potentially can go on a free. And then Craig's just summed it up there. I mean, when Kylian Mbappe come on the scene, he was one of the most likeable youngsters I've seen for a long time. Galacticos, superstar, Ballon d'Or potential winner. No flaws in his game whatsoever as a teenager. Left Monaco, went to PSG. Very likeable. In the space of, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months, all of a sudden now his ego, as Craig said, out of control. He wants to be the big man at Real Madrid. Why wouldn't you want to stay at PSG? Why wouldn't you want to win Champions Leagues and win trophies and try and be invincible and play with Neymar and play with Messi and play with the guys that they've got there? Because the team's building something. You can see, I love watching PSG now. I think there's an interest there. I disagree with the guys if Ronaldo came in there. I'd want to watch him even more, because it's absolutely crazy what PSG could be doing. But on Kylian Mbappe, I hope someone tries to knock him down a peg or two, whether that's his agent, whether that's his immediate family, maybe his teammates, but someone has to do it because this is not the young kid that I saw 4 or 5 years ago.
And I think that now that Mbappe turning into a symbol of how football, he's not lost. He's a young lad. He can come back and he's still got his talent and so on. But it just shows you how this fame, what fame can do to you. And of course, when you put Messi along you and you feel you need to be the poster boy, I think that Jules said it perfectly. And then he will think, well, maybe I should go to Real Madrid because I will be the poster boy there. Or maybe I got to share it with Erling Haaland. I mean, if that you put that into it, you will think that they will think that they will get titles because they're earning unbelievable money anywhere they will play. So it's all about titles that will be on your graveyard when you're dead.
He's only got to look at his current teammate, and I say current, and Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
To see how, he's a poster boy, but he's not a poster boy by design. He's a poster boy by what he did and has done for over a decade, right? Him and Ronaldo, whatever way you swing on who you like and who you don't like, and blah, blah, have done their talking on the field year in, week out.
Jules, I've got to ask you about these rumours that are doing the rounds that Real Madrid have offered or going to offer 50 million for Mbappe to join in January as opposed in the summer. Haven't we been here before with 200 million?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Real Madrid can try anything they want. It's not going to be successful. I think they know it. Where I'm surprised is that once the Champions League draw was made and PSG will face Real Madrid in the round of last 16, I think there was clearly a sense, certainly, or a feeling for both clubs that nothing would happen to Kylian Mbappe before that tie and before the two games are played in February and in March. And then maybe after that, then they could go on in negotiating or whatever they want. And certainly from Kylian's point of view and his camp, that's certainly what they're briefing us. Is like he doesn't want to hear about any sort of contract negotiations, something signed with Real Madrid or someone else, nowhere near before that tie and before finishing the season with PSG. So they can try to tempt him away and tempt PSG to sell. But PSG is not going to sell. Kylian is not going to leave in January either. So it would be a waste of time. So that's why I'm not convinced they will do it. They certainly haven't done it yet. But I guess you can never rule anything in football. But I don't think it would be the brightest idea at all.
Globally, it's better for his image to sign for Real Madrid. My question, and you didn't answer to that one, will he have more chance to win the Champions League next season with Paris Saint-Germain or with Real Madrid?
Real Madrid. And he's got a better chance to win it. He'd have a better chance to win it this season with Real Madrid. It's not the best Real Madrid side, but they're top of the league. They're consistent. They've got a very good manager, and they've been getting results. Paris Saint-Germain, Frank, have got results, but they've played horribly in a lot of the games and been outplayed by Man City. I don't think it's a big deal that he's stepping out of this sublime PSG side that is, so slick that nobody can touch them. I mean, they've just been battered by Man City twice. One of the games that they did actually win.
But we didn't have the chance to see Real Madrid playing against Manchester City. I think everybody. We saw Chelsea being smashed by Manchester City at home at Stamford Bridge. I think we can see Real Madrid being absolutely ridiculized by Manchester City, like we saw Paris Saint-Germain, because I think City belongs to another planet right now. But with any other club.
I'll put it a different way. Messi, Neymar, whatever. Mbappe has outgrown French football domestically. I think it's time. He's been there. He's been the big in. I think the ego is getting a little bit too much, and I think he needs to move on to pastures new, and I think he will. I think it'll be good for him.
Does money make a difference? When we're talking the amounts, 30 million a year compared to 40 million a year, does that actually
matter? You mean like in the old days when we were going in talking about with Nick, with Stevie and Don and Frank talking about appearance money?
Like, there's got to be a point where it just it doesn't matter because it's just such an immense.
No, Dan, I'm sorry. Messi gets around €1 million. Marketing-wise, like Ronaldo, they didn't stay at Juventus and Barcelona because they couldn't get the salary they wanted to. and they're worth like $1 billion. So of course money counts, and because the two best players in the world decided that, and Mbappe is going to do the same. And I tell you, Real Madrid offered him 30 million euros, PSG gets him 50 million euros. I'm not sure he goes to Real Madrid.
After the transfer window in the summer is closed, do you think Kylian Mbappe is in Paris, Madrid, or somewhere else?
He will be hanging out, chilling in Madrid.
La Liga president Javier Tebas seems absolutely adamant that Kylian Mbappe will be going to Real Madrid. We're hearing talks of PSG willing to break the bank to keep him and offer him a new contract. But it almost feels as though it's a given in Spain that he's coming, especially from the fans at Real Madrid. Is that the case?
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, let's start, by the way, with the phrase that you used there, Kay. PSG will break the bank to keep him. I mean, their bank is unbreakable. They can throw as much money at him as they want, and it really doesn't matter. They've already done that, by the way. But yes, of course, that money seems to be increasing all the time. And I just wonder if at some point there'll be a realisation that this may not be about money, that the decision in the end, when it's made, will not be purely about money. Because, of course, there's not very much difference. And maybe I'm being incredibly naive saying this, but there's not very much difference between being incredibly rich and a bit more. It really doesn't make any difference. But you're right, the reaction and the assumption in Spain is it's done. He's coming to Real Madrid. There's just no debate here. Now, obviously, look, until it's actually signed off, until he's actually standing there holding the Real Madrid shirt, then maybe there will be a small amount of doubt, but no one in Spain has that.
It's really interesting. We're just seeing that figure there on the screen, guys. It doesn't matter whether it's a pound sign, a dollar sign, a euro sign in front of that. Would that convince you to stay at PSG, Shaka?
First of all, are you incredibly rich or incredibly rich plus?
Well, I'll go for incredibly plus if that's what you're offering me, Alan. I'm not quite sure. But to your question, Key, let's be honest. 500 grand of whatever denomination is a lot of money. And that's exactly what it comes. A week is 500 grand is a lot of money anyway to get that every week. But to Sid's point, I think it's an absolutely valid one. Let's be honest, whatever Mbappe earns, he's not going to be able to spend all on his own, regardless of where he goes. And it's where he feels most valued. Now, PSG have him under contract. He's a PSG player right now, yes. And as much as you're talking about PSG breaking the bank, you have to wonder about financial fair play, given Neymar's salary, given what Messi's on. And Kylian Mbappe, given his performances, particularly this season, has every right to go in there and demand much more.
Le Parisien reporting that Paris Saint-Germain have offered Kylian Mbappe a ridiculous contract to keep him around. Jules, when I read about this, I saw the numbers. I didn't believe them, so I'm going to tell you. What are we talking about, and will it make him stay?
So we're talking about a 2-year deal worth 200 million euros net. That's the package. There's a 100 million net bonus, and then there's 50 million euro net salary for the first year, and then for the second year, the club are not confirming or not denying it. Leonardo said in L'Equipe that it was not true, that they hadn't took numbers and money, which is not true either, trust me. So I'm not really sure exactly where the truth is. The truth is that they're pushing hard to keep him, even 1 more year, 2 more year maximum, with a lot of money, with a lot of promises, with a lot of, we're going to build a great team. You are the heart of it all. You want to be the poster boy. Here you are. You can beat the Cavani records, goal record, all of that. Will that be enough to tempt him? I don't know. In Madrid, they're still convinced he's going to go.
So I love the 100 million signing bonus. You're basically buying him again, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I want to believe him when him and his family is saying we haven't decided yet. Maybe he has. Maybe he knows he's going to Real Madrid. I don't know. But I want to believe that it's still a bit in the air, and there's still some hope for PSG. I would love him to stay, of course.
But you have on one side a player that can go on a free this summer. On the other hand, you have the Qataris who will have the World Cup coming up in November, December, which is unbelievably important for them. So from the time when Craig and I played, we had transfer where money matters, just small amount of money, where club matters, but now it's nation matters. This is so big, and yes, Jules talking about the money, enormous money involved, but it's so much worth for them that Mbappe would play for Qatari PSG and also, well, that going into a World Cup and being the big star there. So it's enormous. Clubs are gone now. It's all about countries dealing deals for these boys.
Let me just say off the bat, I don't know how this makes any kind of sense to be splashing that kind of cash. And I know it's just rumor and speculation. We're not sure what to make of it. But that kind of money it's absolutely ridiculous. And as much as it's his dream to play for Real Madrid, he's young enough that this sets up the Mbappe family for generations. Let's be honest about that too. And he can still pursue that dream when the time comes, whenever that may be. But I do not know how you turn your back on that kind of money, regardless.
Ian, where would you like to see Kylian Mbappe playing his football next season?
Well, I bow to Jules' superior contacts here. He knows the inside track on this player. But I've got the feeling that it feels like it's a bit of a done deal for him to go to Real Madrid. He wants to go there. They want to take him there. I think they're going to look after him pretty well financially. They may not be able to match the petrodollars coming at him at Paris Saint-Germain. But if I was taking a guess, I'd say he'll be playing for Real Madrid next season.
Frank, your role today on ESPN FC is advisor to young French players. This time we're asking you, if you're advising Kylian Mbappe on his future, what would you tell him to do?
To not listen to us, to not listen to anybody, to just listen to what he really feels inside his heart, and go for it. If he wants to go to Real Madrid because he wants to achieve something, because it's a dream from his childhood, go for it. But if it's about money, if it's about maybe challenge of building something around him at Paris Saint-Germain, stay at Paris Saint-Germain. Qatar is capable, and Paris Saint-Germain board they're capable of giving you everything you need to create a fantastic team around you, and you're going to get what? You're going to get crazy money like nobody had before because they can afford it. It's up to him. It's really up to him. I think nobody should interfere. Nobody should judge him because that's his life and that's his choice, and he deserves to have that choice. And I will be happy for him if he's just happy for himself.
Oh, my point is, it should not be. If you're Kylian Mbappe, the decision you're making, if it's about the money, then I'm disgusted with you, quite frankly. This should have nothing to do with the money. This should be about his career. This should be about what he thinks is the best thing to do. And yes, of course, being a Parisian guy and a French guy and wanting to win, of course, but that should be at the top of the list. The money, quite frankly, should be at the bottom of the list. Because if he gets 50 from PSG and 45 from Real Madrid, that shouldn't even come into it. That's my point. And all the other stuff's annoying as well. Your mum and dad's your agent. I mean, seriously.
I mean, that's everybody now.
Yeah, but it's stupid. No wonder nothing can get done and things are not clear. And then this other nonsense. This is so PSG. Supposedly, he's been told he's going to be the captain. Well, hold on a second. If Pochettino leaves and the new manager comes in, what happens if he doesn't want him to be the captain? And quite frankly, do you really want Kylian Mbappe as your captain? No, you don't. So this is really a PSG all over. Everything about it is kind of upside down. It should be about what Kylian Mbappe wants to do. Shouldn't be about the money or all this stupid nonsense about the armband or anything like that.
Jules, money or trophies? What do you think is the key motivation here for Mbappe as he sits over this decision?
He's always said it's not about the money, and I want to believe him. I mean, he's going to be super rich by the end of his career anyway, wherever he goes. So PSG are just trying everything they can, I think, to keep him. That's the thing. We discussed it before. So you throw a lot of money, you throw a lot of promises, you throw everything you can, image right, armband, all of that. Whether it's right or wrong, right now they're in a position where they feel like we have to do everything we can to keep him anyway. But for him, he's always said that it's about ambition, trophies, project. Everything that Stevie says is right, and I want to believe him when this is what we're getting through. But is it a lack of ambition if he stays another year and has one more go at winning it and be the first guy to take that trophy to Paris? Maybe not. Is it the right time now to go to Real Madrid? Yeah, I mean, there's not good time to go to Real Madrid, and especially to play with Karim Benzema. So I don't know. I can see why it's such a strong dilemma and why they've gone over it over and over and over again, and why I still believe they haven't decided yet, because I think it's a very, very difficult choice to make.
Jules, I remember when Kylian Mbappe was going to let us know his plans in the next few days.
Kylian.
Well, next few days have passed, Kylian. Any more clarity?
Oh, man, this story, I think he's doing a lot of people's head in. I mean, even Kylian himself, maybe, and the whole family on what, okay, go on, and now announce it and decide. And
is he monetizing this at least? Like, what?
No, not even. It's not even a saga.
But this to me says he genuinely hasn't decided.
I think he said on Sunday he has decided.
Almost.
Mostly, yeah. But, I don't know, PSG don't believe that they can keep him now. They've tried everything. I think in a way they're not trying anymore, but they're like, okay, we're still here. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when he will announce it. Now people used to say, okay, he will announce it before the game at the weekend. So if he leaves, he can say farewell like Chiellini and Dybala that we just said, because the game is at the Parc des Princes. Now people are saying that he will wait until maybe the week after, so from the Monday onwards, before he joined the national team on the Saturday. I don't know. I still think it's very likely that he goes to Real Madrid, and they know.
If he does announce it at home, we know what the crowd is like at the Parc des Princes. Would there be any resentment towards him simply because so. If he had said yes a year ago, they would have had another 180 million? Whereas now
I think it would have been worse a year ago. I think
so. There's no resentment towards.
I don't think there would be. No, okay. I don't think there would be.
It's a story that has been breaking over the last few hours. Jules,
has he got handkerchiefs with him? Julian, have you got tissues, Jules?
Jules, you were the man who broke this story. Just tell us what developed today.
Well, yeah, we were told today that PSG have basically given up on the hope that they can keep Kylian Mbappe for next season. It's still not completely done with Real Madrid. Of course, there's always a miracle that can happen and something that changes his mind and he ends up staying in Paris. But I think at the club, at the Parc des Princes, they know that it's not going to be the case. They have that feeling that he's going to go to Real Madrid. They really tried. We explained it many times on the show. He could have asked anything and they would have given it to him pretty much. But this time the feeling is very much that he has chosen Real Madrid. We understand the dilemma. I think part of Kylian still felt that there was more to achieve in Paris. That the story was not completely over, but the other part of him was like, I want to go to Real Madrid. This is my dream. I want to fulfill it. I want to also test myself in another league, in a bigger league than Ligue 1, which you can completely understand. And again, it's not done. There's still a few details to be sorted out between his lawyer and the club and Real Madrid, but nothing, we were told, that would prevent the deal from happening. So at the moment, it looks very much, and that's the belief within PSG as well, that he's chosen Real Madrid.
What do you have new about the striker?
Well, we know that it's imminent now, that we will know maybe tomorrow, Saturday, maybe Sunday. He will announce what he does, if he stays in Paris, if he goes to Madrid. What's fascinating is that, on Friday morning, certainly, in Paris, they believe that he would go to Madrid, like they've believed for a few days now. They stopped being optimistic because they thought, okay, it's all done with Real Madrid. And now you're telling me that Real Madrid think, there's something wrong here. He will stay in Paris. So even the two clubs are like, God, we don't even know what's going on. It seems that maybe there's a breakthrough with PSG, and that because they've tried everything, they literally threw the sink at him and saying, look, ask anything you want and we'll give it to you for you to stay. Maybe now PSG are slightly the favorite for him to stay, but because he's changed his mind all the time in the last year, this has been going on for a year almost, my friend. A year, Rodri, that you can't tell, you don't know until he actually says the words staying or leaving. Because he could have gone last summer and PSG closed the door, but he would have been happy to leave. He was happy to stay. Okay, no problem. Then all year, I think, like you said, Real Madrid were quite confident, said no problem. He gave us his word. Then he clearly said yes to an agreement, even very recently. And PSG just thought, okay, this is it now. Maybe it's over. Maybe we try something lasting, the biggest offer ever. I think the Emir of Qatar got involved. Everybody, Emmanuel Macron, the French president. I mean, we're talking the French president picking up the phone and said to Kylian, please stay in Ligue 1, stay in Paris a few more years. I mean, what transfer ever in football where the president of the country calls you up and says, Rodri, por favor. Like, this is never happening before. And now it's happening. And if you think that Real Madrid have tried to sign him since he was 11 and now he's 23. So it's 12 years they've tried to sign him. It's 6 years, really, that they tried to sign him. What, 5 years? Because in 2017, when he left Monaco, they wanted him there. They thought they had him already back then. If he doesn't go now, after saying yes to them, after they thought it was his, this is the big marquee signing, the Galactico, everything will be built around him after missing on Erling Haaland. If he doesn't go there, this has to be for Real Madrid the biggest upset that the club has ever seen. Kylian Mbappe is staying at Paris Saint-Germain for the next 3 seasons. The most incredible transfer saga of all time has just ended in the most incredible way, with the most incredible twist right at the end, after a month of speculation, month of confidence from Real Madrid that finally they will get their man. After trying so many times, last summer, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 11 years ago, to recruit Kylian Mbappe, they thought finally he would come in the summer to the Bernabeu and to Madrid. And in the end, he decided to stay. There's a few factors, of course. Financially, the two offers were quite close, but PSG's one was higher than Real Madrid. There's also the kind of guarantee that he will have a say in a lot of the things happening at the club, from the manager to the sporting director. And there's a big article on that on the ESPN website that you can read about it. This is just incredible. When, first of all, Real Madrid was super convinced that he was going to go. Then PSG was still a bit optimistic. The negotiations were going on with the two clubs. There was an agreement with Real Madrid first. Then PSG also were feeling that they could have something. Then he went quiet. Then both clubs saw he was going to the other one. And then in the end, we finally can confirm now that Kylian Mbappe is staying in Paris, that he snubbed Real Madrid again for another time, and that he will play at the Parc des Princes and in Ligue 1 next season. For sure, he will sign a new 3-year deal. He will become the highest player in the world, of course, because that new contract is incredible. But this is the story breaking now on the ESPN website, that Kylian Mbappe will be a PSG player next season.
Breaking news, Kylian Mbappe will stay at PSG, so he rejects Real Madrid. You may wonder at this point what happened to Kylian Mbappe to change his mind in the last hours, because, you know, since the beginning of the season we all thought that he was going to join Real Madrid as a free agent by the end of June. Okay, on Monday we reported on ESPN that Real Madrid was kind of confident on getting Mbappe, but at the same time they were afraid of a final movement from PSG to try to convince the player to stay at PSG. And that final movement finally arrived. And that movement was based, first of all, on the financial, economical offer that was even improved by the PSG side, and it was, you know, much more higher than Real Madrid's, even though Real Madrid made a great effort to convince the player with the economical situation, but it was lower than PSG's offer. And secondly, because the PSG side was offering Kylian Mbappe a different role, completely different than the one that he displayed till the date. That role will make Kylian Mbappe like the main guy, the main priority for the French side. So that's why they convinced Kylian Mbappe, and Kylian Mbappe won't join Real Madrid. At Real Madrid now, what my sources tell me is that they are really angry by the way that Kylian Mbappe said, you know, in the past 2 weeks, everything. And that's why Real Madrid kind of will close the door for Mbappe. I don't know if forever, but it will be very difficult for Mbappe to try to open that door in the near future. Let's see what happens, but PSG has won this battle against Real Madrid for Kylian Mbappe that will stay 3 more years at France.